Hello space nerds and welcome to MicroCosmos. This week we're going to talk about the Schiaparelli EDM lander. The lander was named after 19th century Italian astronomer Giovanni Schiaparelli, who is known for describing the surface features of Mars. The lander is part of Roscosmos and ESA's ExoMars project. It is attached to the Trace Gas Orbiter, which launched on March 14, 2016, and it will separate for entry on October 16, 2016. It will land in the Meridiani Planum on October 19th, and is designed to demonstrate key technologies needed for landing the ExoMars rover in 2020, as well as take scientific measurements for up to 8 Martian days. The lander will enter the Martian atmosphere at a speed of around 5,800 meters per second. When the heat shield has slowed the craft significantly, it will deploy 2 disc gap band parachutes to slow it further. A closed-loop guidance, navigation, and control system will use a Doppler altimeter radar sensor and inertial measurement sensors to take data and make corrections. At an altitude of around 1,200 meters above the surface, 3 banks of 3 440 Newton hydrazine engines will pulse fire for around 30 seconds and slow the craft from 70 to around 2 meters per second. At 2 meters above the surface, the engines will cut off and the lander will fall on its crushable structure bottom. Once on the surface, the lander will relay with the Trace Gas Orbiter in Mars orbit to communicate with Earth. It will record data about the environment for 2 to 8 Martian days. At first, Roscosmos offered to contribute a 100-watt radioisotope thermoelectric generator that would power the lander for a full Martian year, but due to export restrictions, the lander is forced to use non-rechargeable batteries. The lander has 2 main instrument payloads. The main payload is DREAMS, which stands for Dust Characterization, Risk Assessment, and Environment Analyzer of the Martian surface. It contains a suite of sensors to measure the wind speed, direction, humidity, pressure, as well as atmospheric transparency due to dust and the electrification of dust particles. DREAMS will provide the first measurements of the electric fields on the surface of Mars. Combined with measurements of the concentration of dust from the transparency of the atmosphere, it will provide new insights on the role of electric forces on dust lifting, the mechanism that initiates dust storms. In addition to the main payload, the lander will also have DECA, or Descent and Entry Camera. It will provide environmental and exact location data through images. Initially, the lander was supposed to have a group of 11 instruments called the Humboldt Payload that would study the geophysics of the deep interior of Mars. However, a payload confirmation review in 2009 resulted in a severe de-scope of the lander's instruments, and the Humboldt Payload was unfortunately dropped entirely. In addition to its science, the Schiaparelli lander will also demonstrate key technologies, which include materials for thermal protection, parachute systems using disc band gap parachutes, Doppler radar altimeter systems, braking systems controlled by liquid fuel engines, and a crushable structure. The crushable structure acts as a shock absorber during landing. It's comprised of sandwiched aluminum and is attached to the lander by 6cm standoffs. It's designed to absorb an impact force of up to 40 Gs, but the expected impact velocity is only around 4 meters per second. This impact system was designed to be a simplified passive landing system, in contrast to the vented airbags or complicated sky crane system developed by NASA. It allows the probe to land horizontally without necessitating protective covers, which would be needed with other landing systems. This type of cushion permits direct access to the surface by a rover, not requiring a complex delivery system of ramps or moving parts. If successful, this landing system will free up both expense and mass, which can be used on the delivery of a more advanced rover or probe. Well, I hope you liked today's MicroCosmos. Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Facebook page to catch all of our new content. Have a good week.